Welcome back to the SidePlate Tekla component instructional video series. In this video, we will be going over the SidePlate bolted connection UI. This video applies for our moment frame fill bolted, ordinary moment frame fill bolted, and our special moment frame fill bolted connections. So once you have your connection or connections applied to your model and you realize you need to make an update to them, first I want to go and double click it. What this will do, it will open up our connection UI. One thing I'd like to point out is that we have three types of connections, A, B, and C. And A connection has one beam, B and C both have two beams. And you can tell if it's a A, B, or C connection right here. You can see this is a B1. Also, while you're making updates to our connection in the UI, there's two considerations that you need to think about before you create an update. If you are wanting to change scheduled items, you'll want to make sure to talk to SidePlate about those changes and make sure to see the engineer agree. A few examples of this would be changing plate thickness, weld sizes, dimensions, standard, narrow, configurations. The other consideration you have to take into account when you're changing parameters in the UI is that a few of these have been denoted as options, for example like plate D and the VSE types. Let's get started in going over with how to create a few of these changes. For the first change I'll be going over is how to change a connection from standard to narrow. So after you have your UI open, you can go to the Picture Column tab, then Configuration Standard, drop it down to narrow, then click Modify. Once the connection's been modified, you'll notice that it looks different. So it used to have a plate B, or cover plate up here, that protruded outside wider than the column. And now that's been replaced with two angles on the top. You will notice that with our bolted connections, when you change it from a standard to a narrow, plate A doesn't go all the way down. This is one of those things you have to talk to a SidePlate engineer about to make sure you get the right parameters to change in the UI. And so here in the model, we're actually at the top of our building, and our column goes past our connection. Now let's say if we wanted to cut the column, we would go back, open up a UI, we'd go to Picture Column, Plate D option. Now the default is Extended Continuous. What this means is that the plate Ds here on the connection, they extend past plate A, and continuous meaning that the column continues onward. So if we wanted to cut the column, we could do Extended Discontinuous or Recessed Continuous. And a Recessed Continuous cuts the column, but it tucks the plate Ds down inside the plate A. So go and click Modify, and close the UI. And then until that the column has been cut and the plate Ds are tucked in. And this is one of those options where you don't need an RFI. And then the third option is I want to show you guys how to change the VSE. So this is a B-type connection, so it has two beams. Beam 1 is denoted by whichever one has the cone on it. The cone could be yellow or green. Beam 2 is the one that doesn't have a cone on it. So when we look at our UI here, we'll see that we have picture beam 1, parts beam 1, welds and bolts beam 1, then we have duplicates for beam 2. So we'll go to picture beam 1, change VSE option from 1 to 3. Then we go to picture beam 2 and do the same thing. And then we'll hit modify. Once that's done, we'll close our UI. And we can see that we now have bolts on our VSE. Well, thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.